Hi guys, this conversation is about responsibility. I mentioned it in the past and I'm taking a new crack at it. We have special relationships with responsibility. And by we, I mean human beings. Those human beings that have language. The special relationships, for your consideration, is that we are not responsible for how it is. We're not responsible for the source of how it happened. We're not responsible for the results. We're just not responsible. Of course, if things go well and somebody's asking us to be responsible for it, meaning to be acknowledged, we will take it. To take on that you married this woman, you married this man, you have the relationship with this person, and it doesn't work, to see yourself, to see myself as the one that is responsible for that, that's not. I'm sorry, I am not. I'm simply not. And she said this, and she said that, and she did this, and by the way, she did that. So I need to leave the relationships, or I need to get into quarrels or fights or whatever it is. Now, the default for us is that responsibility is blame and shame. Okay, who to blame, who takes the shame, and with it comes like discomfort, and this is not right, and this is wrong, or whatever it is. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being responsible for everything that shows up, that happens around me, around you. Everything. But what do you mean everything, Zevi? What do you mean everything? Like, let's say that you looked on television, you watched television, and you saw the twins coming down. How are you responsible for that? Or when I was young, I saw an old lady just falling and dead. Or I see now the opioids scenery. People are dying of overdose across the country, especially in poor areas. Or we have the rate of incarceration is the highest in the world. The rate of the incarceration in the United States is the highest in the world. How come I am responsible for that? Nobody asked me about that. Nobody checked with me before they did that. Nobody called me and maybe didn't get me on the phone before they hit the twins. No, I'm not talking about that. This is not the responsibility that I'm talking about. And consider, for instance, that the experience is, for these instances, is that I'm tied to train tracks. And a train is about a mile away and running toward me at 100 miles per hour. I'm tied. What can I do about it? I cannot do about it anything. This is really horrible. This is really bad, and I'm not responsible. I'm tied. I can go, get off. I can't move away. Okay? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the experience of who we are with the reality. Who I am when I'm tied to the tracks and the train is coming at me. Who I am in this moment is something that I have a choice about. I can choose to be calm, or I can choose to be excited. In either way, it won't make any difference with the train. In either way, the twins went down. And I'm referring to 9/11 for the young ones among you. In either way, the opioids are still there. If I'm interested in making a difference with the opioid overdosing and the heroin addiction in the United States, the first thing to consider is to be responsible for that, to be the cause in the matter, to be like I have a say in the matter of how I am with all that, and take the actions from that. And for you, in the relationships that don't work, the relationship with the intimate relationship, or the relationship with a boss, anything that doesn't work for you, with your teenage, with a person that maybe is taking drugs, or marrying somebody that you don't want him or her to get married with, or anything that shows up in your life that you're not experiencing yourself, you're not taking on being responsible for. I invite you to take on that you are the cause and the matter of how it is for you. For instance, let's say that you have a son that is a heroin addict. And you're saying, I gave everything to this son. I trained him, I sent him to school, he went to the best schools, and now he's doing drugs and this is horrible. And I'm embarrassed. And I think it's bad. And my heart is broken. And I'm calling my sister and I'm complaining about what he does. All that is not there. The only thing that happens with your son that is taking heroin is that he does what he does and he doesn't do what he doesn't do. Nothing else happened. Nothing else is there before you put it there. There is no embarrassment inherently in my son taking heroin. There is no heart broken inherently with that. It's you, naturally, you're a human being, and we do that, and it doesn't work for you, that you brought in that you're heartbroken. This is not the only way you can act with it. And even if your son will OD on that and die, you still have the responsibility for how you take it and the actions you're taking from how it is for you. If it is for you that this is your son that you love, this is your son that you're proud of, this is your son that is the sunshine of the world, you will take one action. If this is the son that is an embarrassment, that is breaking your heart, that is destroying the family, you will take other actions. I invite you to look at both actions that you can take and see what works and what doesn't. From my life experience, taking on that this daughter is the best thing I could ever have opened the conversation between us that made a real difference in her life and my life and in our relationship. Okay? Okay, guys, thank you. If you have any questions, you can put it in the remarks, messaging, whatever. I'm here. Thank you. Bye-bye.